All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Greetings from the Garden State, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. I'm your host, Mike Ham. We are here at the home studio again, Radio Garden State HQ, one corner of the Spaghetti Triangle, which I could explain what the Spaghetti Triangle is to you if you want. But we're here with the great Patty C. Pat, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, also, we'll just talk about it right out of the gate because we're both holding it and drinking it.
Oh, yeah.
We got shout out to Twin Lights Brewing for this cool spreading love American light lager, which is your beer. That's pretty cool.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty delicious, I must say.
I would agree with that.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers. Welcome to my home.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, so like, can we talk about? Well, let's just talk about like that process. Did you ever think getting into music that someone would be like, "Hey, let's do a beer just for you"? It's gotta be pretty cool.
Yeah, I never would have thought that. When I was like, if I was talking to my younger self and he knew that I was gonna have a beer one day, he would be very hyped, man.
Yeah. And so you told me that. So Twin Lights approached you.
Yeah.
And what'd they say? They're like, "Hey, you want a beer?"
Pretty much. Mike reached out and he said that he was brewing up a new beer.
Yeah.
An American light lager. Just so happened that I had a new single coming out called "Spreading Love," and it just kind of happened like that.
Yeah, that's cool. And it just, it's the kind of beer that you drink, right? Like
100,
right
yeah.
in the pocket.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's really right up my alley, man.
Yeah. So I've been listening to some Patty C stuff now, I feel like for a little while. Hey Mama, great tune. Chrissy loves that one too. And but then we connected a couple times, like here and there, but never like kind of face to face. And then I saw you at the Wonder Bar that one night.
Yep.
Was it like Hunter Root was the headliner,
yeah,
but Jackson Pines was playing. So shout out to Jackson Pines as well. I actually had my Blackie's Welding sweatshirt on. And yeah, like when we were talking and I made this comment on your YouTube video of Spreading Love, and I was like, all the songs that I hear you play, and I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's like, it sounds like your best friend wrote a song and you're like, wow, like I didn't know my best friend could do this. Like that's the vibe that I get when I listen to your music.
I take that very much as a compliment. Yeah. I saw that comment and I was like, dude, yes. You know what I mean? Like, I hope more people feel that way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's how I want people to feel when they listen to my music, for sure.
Totally. So, all right, let's do a little background on Patty C. So, you from Jersey originally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, where from? What was early life for Patty like?
Yeah. So, I grew up in Leonardo, New Jersey, which is part of Middletown, Monmouth County.
I've literally never heard of Leonardo, New Jersey.
Yeah. So it's actually right next to Atlantic Highlands.
Okay.
So it basically goes, so there's the Bay Shore.
Yep.
And you might know it. You might know Leonardo from the movie Clerks with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a Quick Stop was right up the street from where I lived, and that's where they filmed all those Clerks movies.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So, so grew up there, went to middle school right up the street, ended up going to Middletown South. That's where all my brothers went to.
Yep.
And there's actually two high schools in that area. There's Middletown South and Middletown North. And a lot of my friends were going to Middletown North, but all my brothers went to South, so I was, they told me that they would beat me up if I didn't go, basically.
Yeah.
So I have 4 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay, so good old-fashioned Irish-American family.
Big time. Big time.
So, all right, so Middletown South.
Yep.
And then is music a part of your life early on? Family members into music? Like, how did that start to creep into your life?
Yeah, so ever since I was very young, I always loved listening to music. Even like I don't really remember it, but like back to when I was like 3-4 years old, always like listening to whatever CD was in the CD player, like In Sync and stuff like that stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? That
Classics.
used to hype me up when I was really young. But as I got a little bit older, I think my parents definitely had a big influence because they, like my mom and my dad liked Bruce Springsteen a lot.
Sure.
My stepdad was into a lot of classic rock, like the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
So like they're one of my favorite bands, actually.
Yeah.
Leonard Skinner as well. That kind of music.
Yeah.
So I think they had a big inspiration on me for sure.
Yeah, and then when do you start? Because like I listen to music. I listen to music all the time, and I started a radio station because I like listening to music. But I can't play an instrument. Like I don't know how. But when do you start playing music and then start to kind of go down that road of like, you know, picking up an instrument, writing songs? Like, when does that kind of come into play in your trajectory of life?
Yeah, so that started when I was in high school. So basically, I was given a bass guitar by one of my stepbrothers when I was in like 5th grade. So I guess I liked music back then since he was giving me a guitar. But I didn't pick it back up until I was in high school. One of my good friends, Timmy B, he was playing guitar, and I was like, dude, I have a bass. Like, we should jam. So we started jamming, and then after bass, I started playing the guitar and started like writing my own songs just from like my own experiences and whatnot. And so I'd say it started in high school, and then once I graduated, I started taking it a little more seriously.
Yeah. Did you go to college?
No.
Okay, so
I went to 1 semester at Brookdale Community College,
like,
and I was like, nah.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point in your life, so you're out of high school, you're like, obviously, life comes at you fast. So did you like have an idea of like what you wanted to do in life? Was like, you're like, let's chase this music thing for a while. So how old are you?
27.
Okay. All right. So still young. I mean, like, I'm 34. It feels, I wish I was 27. So, you know, take me through that. Like, trying to make music a career. Was that ever like on the table? I mean, it kind of is, I feel like, to a degree, but early on, was that kind of something you were thinking?
So going back to high school, like towards the end of my senior year, I started playing shows with a band that I was in, and we would play these shows at this place called the Brighton Bar in Long Branch, which is no longer there, but used to have some cool shows there. But when I was in high school, we used to get our whole like senior class to come out and like come see us play, which so once I did that, we had the place packed. I was like, oh, this is so cool. You know what I mean? And I really don't know like what made me want to just keep doing it and be, like, pursue it professionally. But I think I just loved it so much, and there wasn't anything else like that I enjoyed doing as much as that.
Yeah, it's just like your love.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's been like the last few artists that we've had on the show, like Emerson, Maddie Carlock, some people like that. Like that's the thing that they talk about. It's just like they just love it, you know?
Yeah.
And like, why not try?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So when you're playing in this high school band and you're at the Brighton Bar and all these other places, are you doing mostly like cover songs? Are you playing like original stuff at that point?
Good question. Yeah, no, it was a much more covers back then for sure.
Like, what are you covering?
Back then, we were doing a little bit of like Guns N' Roses.
Sure.
What else we were doing? Yeah.
Iron Man.
Classic.
Yeah.
But totally like a lot of cliche kind of stuff, like Guns N' Roses. We were doing songs by like Simple Plan.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. A little bit of Rolling Stones, just because I always liked the Stones. So I was like, Beast of Burden was like one of the tunes. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then at what point do you start to kind of shift from the covers to original stuff? Yeah. So like your first original song was released when?
So that was 2019, which was Hey Mama.
Okay. Oh, so that was your first one.
Yeah.
Coming out hot. I love it. So what's the time frame in between like Hey Mama and the cover band stuff?
Yeah. So I graduated in 2015.
Okay.
Came out in 2019. So during that time, I think I was like writing, you know what I mean? Like writing, going through stuff, like weird time period after high school, kind of trying to figure out my life.
Yeah.
And so about, probably like 4 years or so. And like that wasn't the only song I had, but that was the one that, like a lot of people really liked and connected to. You know?
And then is that like the moment you just be like, this maybe we can do this, Like
I think so.
Kind of like the moment, I feel like, right?
100%. Yeah. Just because it totally, and there's something really cool about that tune is that, it made me feel good, but it made a lot of other people feel good. Where there's so many people reaching out to me saying like, hey, I listened to this song and like hadn't talked to my mom in a while, talked to my mom and like just reaching out to me on that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, that feels really good.
Yeah, it hits home for sure. Even with me right now. So, so like, all right, Hey Mama comes out and do you always, is it just Patty C? I know Patty C and the Pints. Mm-hmm. I love that. Patty C and the Pints.
Thanks, man.
Like the Wishbones, the Pints. Mm-hmm. I love like when people have, great band group names. So at that point, so you release Hey Mama, and then take me through kind of like you get that positive feedback, and then you're like, all right, I want to chase this a little bit more. So like then take us through kind of like the timeline for the next original music that you released.
Yeah. So I released Hey Mama under Patty C. That's actually what all my music you could find under. Like if you just type in Patty C, like that's what's going to come up is, all my music. Mm-hmm. But when I play live and like the band who records it is Patty C and the Pints, at least like more recently. Back then we used to call it Patty C and Friends. That's kind of what it was for a while.
Yeah. Well, like I said, your best friend.
Because like that's what it was.
Yeah.
So we turned it into Patty C and the Pints. And so since I already had like a Spotify page that was like, had all this music on it, like I'm not really sure. I maybe can look into it. But, like all the guys in my band get credited for it. The Pints, quick shout out, Cranston Dean on the drums, Tim Ennie on the keys, Ty Brick on the bass, Lee Fairjean on the guitar. So, I always make sure, even though it says just Patty C, like they're getting those credits and like, recognition for that stuff.
Yep.
So I released that tune in 2019. And then I released a couple more singles, all with Telegraph Hill Records. Is the first, they helped me out when I was first releasing that kind of music. Yeah. So I released, I think it was 3 singles, and then I did an EP with them. I forget exactly when, maybe 2021 or 2022. It was an EP called I Ain't Never Gonna Stop, which is like 6 songs. Yep. Hey Mama was included on there as well. So we did that, and then following that, in 2023, we did our Patty C and the Pints debut album called A New Day Starts, which we recorded up in Owl's Head, Maine with my buddy Mike Young. Sure. The boy. He produced it and recorded it. And so that's kind of the timeline. It's just, cool. Started with Telegraph. Yep. We did the EP, and then I kind of segued into working with these guys up in Maine. And now for this, these most recent tunes like "Spreading Love," I recorded that in Cranford at this studio called Sonoma Beach Studio. Okay. With a gentleman named Joey Papa, great guy. Shout out Joey, you're the man. Sure. Who also records a lot of the Mercury Brothers tunes. Okay, I like the Mercury Brothers a lot. Yeah, I love the way all their stuff is produced, and so happy with how "Spreading Love's been sounding too. Yeah. Can we also talk about, like you mentioned some names in there, like Cranston and some of the guys in the band and some of the guys that produced the music that you've been putting out over the last few years. Can we talk about just like the scene for like a little bit? Like you mentioned Telegraph Hill, they're near and dear to our hearts here because on the station they have Sunday nights, they do Telegraph Hill radio for us on Radio Garden State. So shout out to them, 7 to 9 p.m. And so can we talk about maybe like people that have been important in kind of this journey of music for you that are local that, have really either given you a shot on something, as we mentioned some of those before, but even just like, you mentioned the guys just kind of helping put the record together or the EP together or whatever and kind of putting music out. Yeah. So I think the music scene over, Jersey Shore, like Monmouth County, that area, Asbury Park, all that stuff. Like, there's so many influences for sure. I actually made there's a Scan and Jam on the can of this beer.
We'll hold it up. We'll do it closer to the thing. Yeah.
So Scan and Jam. So I kind of put this playlist together along with Twin Lights Brewery. But a lot of the musicians and bands that you could find on this playlist are definitely ones that I can really like, first off. And two, I just like kind of look up to in certain ways and that kind of stuff. But something with like the music scene I think is really cool is, aside from Patty C and the Pints, like I play in 3 other projects as well. Yeah. And we're all friends. Like, if you don't mind, I'll list them off real quick.
Go for it.
So we got Patty C and the Pints. We have another band called N Delirium. Okay. Not sure if you've heard them before or not.
I don't think so. Maybe.
We put out our first album in the beginning of 2024 titled N Delirium. It's a self-titled album. Dan Appy's in that band from the Mercury Brothers. My buddy Jay, or my cousin Jay, Squid, and Tim. Squid. Yeah, Squid, man. He's a sick drummer. Yeah. And also Tim Ennie on the bass. So he's also in the Pints. He's kind of double dipping. Sure. It's kind of what we do. We all just play with each other. Yeah, yeah. Aside from that, I'm in a project called Daily Rituals with Kev Daly. Okay. And his girlfriend Heather. So we a lot of times we play trio where she's on the fiddle, Kev's on guitar, I'm on guitar. Sometimes we do full band where I'll play the bass, Cran will play the drums, do like a full band thing.
Yeah.
And then I also play in Cranston's band as the bass player in that and like throw down harmonies too.
Yeah.
So we have such like a close knit, like, it almost feels like a family, dude. Like for real, man. Like I've been hanging out with those guys since, I started taking the music seriously, and I look up to all of them. But aside from them, like just so many different music, like bands in the music scene. Ryan Gregg is someone that I really like and look up to. Yeah. I really love his new music that he put out too. Jackson Pines, all those guys, man.
Yeah. Playing in all those bands, does it give you kind of like, I mean, essentially what I'm kind of gathering, or what I would assume, is that it's like a chance to kind of play different kinds of stuff and maybe kind of expand your horizons a little bit?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's what's really cool. It's like let's say I'm writing music by myself. I'll write a song and I'm like, oh, this is an End Delirium song. So I bring this song to End Delirium. Same thing with the Pine. Same thing with Daily Rituals. That's just like the way it goes. I find different vices in playing with these guys where it's like, inspiration just strikes in different areas, and it can't always just be in one spot. Yeah. So it's just so nice. And it also keeps me really busy too.
Sure.
Like
you have to create. Kinda, so you don't fall, because I mean, a lot of the people that you've just mentioned, like I know some of them personally. I've heard of some of them too. And they're all like creative people
for sure.
And like they're constantly putting stuff out or trying things and whatever. And it's like, not that it's pressure, but it's just like, you want to, like when you're around other creative people, like your brain becomes a little bit more fertile.
100%, man.
It just kind of puts you in that mode like all the time.
Yeah. And like kind of just for instance, like this past week, because I'm playing tomorrow night, February 28th, I'm over at Old Village Pub in Middletown. You ever been there by any chance?
I have not.
So it's a pub right in off 35 in Middletown. And it's like one of the only bars in Middletown that I feel like does live music. Like I said, I'm from there.
Sure.
So like it's really cool to like I've played there a couple times, but we'll be playing there tomorrow night, and just stoked for it, man.
Yeah.
Where I was going with that is that I've been doing a lot of practice this week. So practice with the Pints, and then meeting up with the guys from End Delirium because we also are recording new music. So we are working on new artwork and trying to get things moving for that, and just staying busy, man.
Yeah.
The Mayo Performing Arts Center is the heart of arts and entertainment in Morristown, New Jersey. MPAC presents over 200 events annually and is home to an innovative children's arts education program. To see MPAC's upcoming schedule of world-class concerts, stand-up comedy, family shows, and more, head to mayoarts.org or just click the link in our show notes.
And so this is going to come out, this episode of the podcast is going to come out not next week, but the week after, I believe. So the song, because you mentioned February 28th, which is tomorrow at the time of this recording, you have another song that's coming out tomorrow, which will be out by the time the podcast comes out.
Yes,
so can we talk about that song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the title of the song is Jam Under Rock.
Okay. And
it's kind of like my take on reggae, because some of my tunes end up kind of coming out like reggae.
Yeah.
And it kind of tells a story of being lost in the desert, trying to find your way. And so that releases tomorrow. We got it's sounding really good. I'm so excited about it. And during the gig tomorrow, it'll be released. So like we start at 9 and the tune drops at 11. So like we're going to play the tune and like get everyone hyped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so cool. I love that. That's perfect timing.
Exactly.
So when you're releasing all this music and you're playing with different bands and all that kind of stuff, and obviously there's a lot of good people involved in that, like, has music taken you places where you get on stage or you do something and you're just like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm playing fill in the blank spot? Like you mentioned a couple already that are kind of places that you grew up near or whatever. But has there been a moment where you're just like, I can't believe I'm on this stage, or I can't believe I'm doing this?
Yeah, I think it's definitely happened a couple times. So like just a couple, for instance, there's this skate festival I play at. It's a skate and music festival over in Cape Henlopen, Delaware, which is right in Lewes, Delaware. You go down to Cape May, literally, and take the ferry right across, and you're at the spot.
Yeah.
So that's always been really cool, just because like like I said before, like my younger self would be like, that's so cool you're doing that. You know what I mean? Like skateboarding and music. Like I really like, I don't really skate, but I appreciate it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You look like you could be a skate guy.
I could vibe with
Yeah,
it.
you
You
could
know,
vibe
like
with that.
I can cruise. You know what I
sure.
mean? But
Yeah.
I just,
you got the Vans on.
I just don't
you're-
have the hops, man.
Yeah, I don't, neither do I.
I just
Like,
don't have the
I like
hops.
to stay on the ground.
Yeah,
you
me
know?
too.
Yeah.
So that, like, it's just very cool because, you know, meeting all these new people. And then another instance, I think, was a couple years ago. We played at the Asbury Lanes
Okay.
a couple times.
Yeah.
But there was one gig in particular. I forget which one it was, but I was playing with Cranston Dean Band, playing the bass. And, like, we just had so many people out there.
Yeah.
They have such a sweet green room there as well,
Okay.
like, you know, backstage there.
Yeah.
It just feels like so legit. And I think that was, and also, like all of our friends' bands were like, you know, it was Mercury Brothers
Sure.
and whoever else was on the bill. So we're all just hanging backstage and like, it was a really cool feeling.
Yeah, that's so cool, and it just like it's crazy. You know, you just find something that you love, and you put, you know, effort into it.
Yeah.
and it's just crazy, like the return that you get. Maybe not right away, but like eventually, like if you stick to it and all that kind of stuff, it kind of starts to come back.
For sure.
I know you said off mic we wanted to talk a little bit about music, obviously a big part of your life, but day to day. Turning Point?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, man.
All right.
So that's my day gig. I work
Yeah.
over at Turning Point in Little Silver. You could catch me staying up late, but waking up early, making it to those shifts, man, and serving the tables, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always have coffee freshly brewed, ready to go.
I love that. Yeah.
So, you know, if you're ever in town, like after a night of drinking, you want to come see me, I'll be at Turning Point in the morning.
Well,
It's a really cool spot.
Possibly drinking with you.
Yeah, hopefully.
And then, you know, yeah, hopefully. And then have to show up and, you know, I could just sit there and, you know.
Yeah.
Drink that freshly
But,
brewed
you know,
coffee.
it makes my day better because
Sure.
I see you know, I'm like, oh, it feels good. Like a lot of times we'll have a night where we're out and then a couple of my friends, like while we're drinking, they're like, dude, we're going to come see you tomorrow at Turning Point. And I'm
yeah.
like, all right, man. Like, yeah. But no, it's always a good feeling. So that's just a little bit more about me as I work as a server. I've been working in restaurants like since I graduated high school.
Okay.
And it's a good, you know, it helps me continue the music thing because especially for Turning Point, it's just breakfast and lunch. So I'm out by 4 o'clock.
Yeah, and you got the
keeps the
whole-
night open.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just got to wake up early, bite the bullet, but
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
been treating
Just
me
go,
good.
like a
man.
little hair of the dog and just like get back out there. You know?
100%, man. I'm a big iced latte guy, so like
Sure.
I like espresso. So
Okay.
I'll wake up, do iced latte, and I'm
Yeah.
moving, man.
We started just doing, we have like the little silver, like, not little silver, but like that little espresso pot thing.
Oh, yeah,
like
dude.
like the old school kind.
Oh, really?
And I was watching this video. This is off topic, big time.
It's all cool.
But we're talking about espresso.
Yeah.
So Chrissy,
It's a big part of my life.
okay,
man.
all right. So then we're into it. So Chrissy, like today, for example, like she has to go into the Bronx sometimes for work. So she leaves at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll make some espresso the night before. I'll put it in the fridge so it cools down, and then she'll put that in her coffee to take with her. So we were doing like just regular like Cafe Bustelo, you know, straight up in the thing. And then I was watching this Instagram thing, and this guy, Christian Petroni, if you're like in the food world, you know who Christian Petroni is. But he's like a famous like celebrity chef kind of deal. And he was making tiramisu with espresso, but when he was making the espresso, like he did the same kind of pot that we have, but he put the espresso in, and then he put like a little sugar, like granulated sugar on the top, so that it comes out like a little bit sweeter. It kills the bite a little bit.
For sure.
It's now become, I really didn't drink espresso, and now I do. It's
So like
just-
that's the way you do it.
that's the way I would do it.
Wow.
You know, and it's like a little like single serve thing. So like if I'm home alone, I'll make one and have that. She'll put that in her coffee. Like, so there's a little, if you want to, you know, try something different.
Yeah,
you know?
I might do that one.
Do a
Like
little-
when I get to work, I'll put it on the menu, man.
Yeah, right. And call it, see, I don't have a beer, so I can have like an espresso, you know?
Yeah, Radio Garden State Espresso, man. That's sick.
Oh, man. Okay, so what's like next? I know you have the song coming out tomorrow,
Yep.
which will be released by the time this podcast episode comes out, but you have like a lot of stuff coming
For
too,
sure.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So aside from the tune that releases tomorrow, so basically the two singles that I've released so far, Spreadin' Love, and then this upcoming one, they're all going to be a part of an EP called Happy Camper EP,
Okay.
which will be released in April. We're doing a EP release show at the Pickle April 25th with the Mercury Brothers.
Cool.
Patty C and the Pine Mercury Brothers. So we have those 2 songs. I'm going to release another single in March called Wet Siders, which is about growing up in Leonardo on the wet side of Highway 36 over there.
Sure.
So we have those 3 singles. Then April comes. We're going to do a EP release at the Pickle. Also, something I'd like to mention is April 4th. My band and Cranston's band, we're gonna be playing over at the Smodcastle Cinemas in
cool.
Atlantic.
Yeah.
You know, a newer movie theater, and we're gonna be playing there, like selling tickets and stuff. April 4th.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I would love it if some people came out to that.
Yeah,
we're trying to get the ball.
I've been wanting to go to
rolling.
Smodcastle for a while. That's Kevin Smith's spot.
Yep.
And I've secretly been wanting to get Kevin Smith in the show for forever. But just like it's just a cool place, and I love like what they're doing with indie theaters and like all that kind of stuff.
It is really cool, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely mark that one down, and I love Cranston. So
right,
shout out WFKU.
Yeah,
you know,
WFKU, man.
Wednesday nights it
Love it.
will be 6. Right now it's 7, but will be 6 o'clock on Radio Garden State.
So good.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, so that's really what's coming up, man.
Cool.
Like there's going to be stuff all throughout the year, but that's more like upcoming stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
It's funny. Like I was looking at this can, and like the dog with the hat on, and like the baseball themes and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
this is like pretty much the what's the vibe or like the artwork really that kind of goes across a lot of Patty C music, like the cover art, all that kind of stuff. Is this you drawing this?
no, it is not.
Okay.
that would be
dope
sick
if it was.
No, but it's one of my best buddies,
Okay.
Zach Cavalucci.
Sure.
Shout out, love you, man. Thank you for all the artwork you do. So yeah, Zach. He, we basically have been doing artwork together since I started releasing music. So anytime I release music, I hit him up. He makes the art. So basically, the dog, Patty Dog, is what he's called.
Yeah.
And
it's
there's
like your mascot.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we've so he put this together. This was the single cover for Spreading Love.
Yeah.
And then Mike hit me up from Twin Lights, was like, yo, dude, like, let's get some artwork for it. So I hit up Zach, and yeah, so it's like a collab. Also, if you check out the
sea captain.
Yeah. So quick funny story about this. Me and my buddies, we go to Berryville, New York, Delaware Water Gap.
Okay.
And it's basically camping. That's where we go camping every year. Like once a year, me and this whole friend group of bros go out camping. And so this is the captain of Port Jervis, or as we say, Port Jervy, which is a character that came about because one of my buddies didn't have a ride to camping, and he took the train to Port Jervis. And he just got super hyped and was like telling random people like, yo, I'm the captain of Port Jervy, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so we put it on the can, man.
Yeah, I love that.
So shout out to all that.
Another Patty C character in the echelon of characters.
Yeah.
The baseball stuff. What's with the baseball stuff?
So what we were doing with that, so it kind of all goes together with the Happy Camper EP.
Okay.
So basically, this first single had the baseball. This next one, it's the cover. Like the cover has like the dog like catching a football.
Oh, okay, so just kind of like
so it's kind of all just stuff
themes
you
and
do
stuff.
camping, like
Sure.
like we were doing like wiffle ball and like
Yeah,
throwing the football around, and the next one's pretty cool too, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it.
No,
yet,
I don't want you to spoil it either.
yeah.
Well, let me just check where we're at on time.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so if people are listening to this and they're like, man, I love Patty C. I love his vibe. I want to learn more about his music. Where would you start sending them to go do that and learn more?
Good question. I'd say so you can find me on any streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. So you can look me up on there, and I'd appreciate it if you did that too.
Yeah.
So Spotify, Apple Music, we got YouTube. Like I put up the YouTube video. I'm doing another it's not as much as a professional music video as I did the first time, but for Jam on the Rock, I'm gonna put up it's basically just like a visualizer of like these buddies that I have surfing. So like they're surfing with the tune.
Sure.
But you can really just go to like my Instagram or Facebook, and I also have a website, pattycmusic.com. You can go to, which kind of explains like kind of about the band and links and stuff like that.
Sure. That's cool. Yeah. We'll make sure that we put those in the show notes. People just go click it, look for it, find it, listen to it, love it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, easy peasy. And you're just out there spreading love. Which
Yeah,
I love.
man. That's what I'm trying to do, man. As we drink them.
As we drink them. Yeah, we drink spreading love. We are spreading love.
Spread some love.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap this up, and you're going to play a couple tunes for us. Let's tell the podcast what we have coming out, because the tunes are actually going to come out before the podcast drops. So
True.
What do you think you're going to play tonight?
So I'm going to do, I can do 2.
You could do, two's
As
great.
many? As many as I want? So I'll probably
a
play
little private concert here, down here.
Spreading Love and Jam on the Rock.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
I get a little early taste.
Yeah, brother.
I love that. Okay. So everyone could check that out on the Radio Garden State YouTube page. We'll put it on Instagram as well. Maybe we'll even, if I can get it done, maybe I'll even try to time, was it Love Under Rock?
Jam on the Rock.
Jam Under Rock. Spreading Love. Jam Under Rock.
Love Under Rock.
I'll try to time it so that it comes out around when the song is released tomorrow night.
Be rad.
All right, we'll see what I can do. I'm not a magician.
No pressure, man.
I'm not a magician, but I'll work on it all night. And then wake up and go to Turning Point, whatever the fuck. Okay, so all the links for Patty C will be in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming up here. I really appreciate it. And for the beers, and also shout out to 6 Points Pizzeria here in Bloomfield.
Oh my God, guys, you gotta try it.
Yeah, we picked up some pizzas for there because I wanted to be a good host. And I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Really good, man.
All right, good. So
you're a fantastic host, man. I
appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And this has been the Greetings from the Garden State podcast, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. He was Patty C. I'm Mike Ham. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.